All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the CSRN Weekend Review, our weekly podcast where we come to you live and talk about the things that we're doing now, some of the things that went down last week, and a few things that we got coming up in the future. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a short break, play our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment on the podcast. So, hey, we'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right. This is the CSRN weekly podcast or weekend review. Shout out to our tech team that just put our visuals up before the video went down. So somebody get fired. Hey, listen, let's go ahead and get started. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I use pronouns he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. 8 years ago, they had an idea that just regular rank and file people could speak truth to power. All you needed was some facts and maybe a bullhorn, and here we are, still getting it in. Today, I have one because we've got my brother Nate on. I've got my Buy Black shirt on. Oh, let me take off the that title thing right there. Maybe you could. All right. Thank you, tech team. All right. Got my Buy Black shirt on, got my black hat, my beads. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter in Justice or Else. And I know you're wondering, hey, look, where is Jody? Right now, who the heck cares? All right. Now, I won't say that to him when he walk in here, but we've got Haley. Hey, oh, no, here's how we're supposed to do it. Can you introduce yourself? What do you got on? And then we'll get right into our mission statement.
I'm Haley. I have on glasses, a necklace, earrings, and a green and white dress. And that's it.
All right. And today, normally we have either myself or Jody or one of our other members to read the mission statement. However, hey, we got Haley. Hey, could you read the mission statement? And then after that, I wanted to know, because you do the Pretti protection.
Correct.
All right. After you read the mission statement, could you tell us how much joy do you get from making people aware of their own surroundings? All right.
All right. So the mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequences and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events that help to foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politicians, clergy, law enforcement, and educators. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. For all lives matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King.
All right. Thank you, Haley. And one of the things we wanted to ask before we get into our guiding principles, man, how much joy do you get from, just making people aware of their surroundings? And I know we're going to do the Walking with Confidence, all right, the safety segment, but I really wanted to I never asked you that.
It's a big joy. It's not even explainable. Just letting people know just the dangers that are around them, or just having people be aware. It's always a joy because the smallest things people have no idea about and people don't realize. And it's always a joy. Just as simple as I'll see a woman walking down the street and I'm like, hey, put your phone up. Just
That's
simple
right.
things. So it's always a joy. When you find something you're passionate about and you love, every second of doing it is always a plus.
All right. And that's Pretti protection. All right. Hey, we just did kind of a commercial right there.
Right.
All right. Hey, listen, I'm going to get into our guiding principles. And I see Jody outside the door. I hope you didn't hear what I said about him online. All right. That'd be unsettling. These are our CSRN guiding principles. We just read our mission statement, which is somewhat like the soul of what we do, so that we don't have to worry about being co-opted, because we know who we are. We know what our mission is. And our guiding principles help us to not fall apart while we're doing all of that. These are the CSRN guiding principles. All Black Lives Matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe. And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Now, before we take a break, myself, Jody, and the others, we always talk about our Black Lives Matter moment, meaning since we've been protesting, having political forums and other things, there's some things that kind of stand out to me. And one of the instances was there's a gas station at the corner of Ashland and Bancroft. And at one point, just as a lot of the businesses in our communities are not ran by us, they're ran by others from outside of our community. And sometimes we get the worst care, all right? If we're not getting the worst care and worst service, we're just getting bad service. At one point, we're going to have to decide to not boycott, but just withdraw our economic support from businesses that aren't serving us. And we had a protest awareness activity out front. And just as always, the police comes, they ask us, what are we doing? It's like, can't you read the signs? All right. We want to shut it down. We want better service and we want the owners to be accountable. And I think that sometimes we shy away from getting involved when there's some international people in our neighborhood. Like they can get it too. All right. So, so just for everyone to be on notice for that. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Nate McAlister and talk about insurance. He said, no, we're not going to talk about insurance. Hey, we're going to talk about
insurance is always a good topic. Everyone needs it.
All right. See there, man. Well, we don't need Nate. You can talk, no. But
no, we need Nate.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a short break and come back with my brother, Nate McAlister. This is the CSRN Weekly Podcast. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Week in Review. And as a CSRN tradition, as we did with Haley, kind of put her on the spot. Hey, who are you? What do you got on? All right. Hey, listen, we've got a phenomenal brother here. I've been following him. I'm not trolling his Facebook page, but I've been watching his Facebook page for years. And you know what, Nate? I didn't give away who you are. It's something how we could be Facebook friends, but we hardly ever get a chance to be in the same place at the same time. You also got some funny posts on there too.
Yeah,
all right.
I try to enjoy life a little bit.
All right. So in CSRN tradition, can you introduce yourself? What are you wearing? All right. That's a
gray suit, nice shirt.
Yes, sir.
Pair of sneakers.
All right.
I don't like wearing all the leather bottoms. I'm kind of new school.
Okay. All right.
But where I'm from, I'm originally from Toledo, from out Stickney.
Okay.
Graduated from Scott in 1992. Went to Bancroft High for a period of time, which would be the University of Toledo. Left, traveled, seen the world, got a chance to experience a little bit of life being in the entertainment industry, and was in the car industry for 20 years. And I felt like I needed to make a change.
Okay.
Because if anybody's ever bought a car at 24.99%, the guy who sold you the car, the bank don't love you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
we didn't get your name.
Nathan McAlister.
Oh, man. Okay. He said the whole name. Haley was saying Nate. You said the whole thing. Okay. It's all good.
Yeah, brother. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right. Hey, listen, I know how tricky it is talking about Black wealth, saving, putting something aside without appearing that I'm selling something that I'm not. What do you do?
Well, I work for New York Life. I'm a financial professional.
Okay.
One of the big things that I focus on is helping people to build wealth so they can live life on their own terms. And one of the things that I'm very, very dedicated to is helping Black wealth, because I know that as much the trillions of dollars that we spend every year, most of us have a net worth of less than $100.
Ooh-wee. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Black wealth is maybe the last thing. It appears to be the last thing on the revolution table. All right. When we do this type of work, Nate, it's police brutality, it's social, injustice, it's racial profiling. All right.
Definitely.
Economics is the illegitimate stepchild of the revolution. And unfortunately, I know that our former slave masters and their children wanted to keep it like that. All
definitely.
Right. So
definitely.
for you, what was it that got you into this? Because you were selling cars, you were in the entertainment industry. I don't know if you sung or you rap. Either way,
I was a producer, Grammy nominated.
We're gonna find out today. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. I did a few things.
Okay. What was it about being a financial professional that got your attention?
Well, it was seeing so many Black people run through millions of dollars and broke. I mean, we can name the Antoine Walkers, right? $180 million broke, right? We can talk about Allen Iverson, who was broke at one time, even though he did make some real smart moves.
Okay.
He spent a couple dollars, but New York Life, and that's what got him through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. When he first got into the league, he bought a $5 million annuity. Now, annuity is just it's an instrument that gains interest, and then it gives you a set payout, right?
Huh.
So once it starts, it goes for life, right?
Oh, okay.
So Allen Iverson put away $5 million, and he got about a couple $100,000 a year during them broke years, so he could at least pay his rent.
Okay.
Right? And there's a couple of other things that that really got me into it. I was co-managing Eric B. and Rakim, classic group.
Okay, I need to be writing this down. All right, I feel like this is a test or something. All right, all right.
And a lot of people don't know them boys made a lot of money, right? A lot of money. And they still got a little money. They got still got their mansions and things. But I talked to Eric, who I'm pretty cool with, and I told him, I said, if you had invested $1 million in 1986. I said that would be worth about 60, 70, 80 million, maybe more in 30 years.
Oh, wow.
You know what he looked at me and said?
What?
Oh my God. I mean, he just had this look like, I mean, I could be living in Dubai right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, because he's a strict Muslim, right? A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, did not know until now.
No idea, right? Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Doesn't do any kind of drugs, he doesn't take aspirin or anything like that, right? But he's like, his dream is to live in Dubai, right? He was like, I could be living in Dubai if I put away $1 million. And he said in 86, $1 million was like a couple $100 to them. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Just making $250,000 a weekend rapping.
Right.
In 86. So that's when money was really worth money. So 4 weekends, these guys would, have $60, $70 million in compound interest, more money they could do with every, and that money would never run out. Now we're talking pure generational wealth.
Right. That's right.
Pure.
That's right.
So that money would never, you couldn't even outlive the money. People would say, remember when you was younger, people say, if I hit the lottery, I'll put it in the bank and I'll live off the interest.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Right. But they're not too far off. I wouldn't put it in a bank. I wouldn't go to my key bank or nothing like that.
Okay.
But I would put it away so that I can earn interest on it.
Oh, well, okay, see, that's where I'm mixed up. And I'm going to be like the oppositional advocate for this. If I'm not putting my money in a bank, and I'm sure there's others out there that's just as dense as I am, all right? So I'm not the first one.
Won't be the last.
Okay, if I'm not putting it in a bank, where else do I put my money?
Well, there are a lot of instruments, vehicles out there. Insurance companies are always great, right? Because we don't mess with the money, right?
Okay.
We're not going to be gambling with the money. We're going to put stuff in like U.S. government securities, equities, bonds, things that are very safe that we're going to get a guaranteed returns for. That's the reason why, this big thing where everybody's talking about whole life, how it grows, because of those guaranteed funds that the United States, that the insurance companies are making on investments, allows them to be able to do that return on investment.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then shouldn't insurance companies fail just like we just had some banks fail?
No. Insurance companies only fail when they go public. So if they have shareholders, they may fail.
Okay.
But if they're a mutual-owned company like New York Life, a few other companies, and we only represent only 2% of the insurance field being mutual companies, a mutual company will never go out of business, right? Because if you own a business and it's a stack of money there, what are you going to do with it? You're going to spend it, right?
Right. I'm going to just say, right. Yeah.
I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go help some starving kids. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to travel.
It's going to be the new car first. All right. If I have something left, you're going to
waste it. You're going to waste it.
Yeah, I am. I am.
Okay. And I'm going to waste it too, right?
Okay. Thanks.
But because mutual companies aren't owned by any one person, then they're more responsible. So you got a bunch of people that nobody wants to lose their job, basically. If we all had a pot of money and it was our job to watch it, you think the people in this room would waste it?
No.
Because I don't own it, you don't own it. So we're all looking at each other like, Washington better not buy no extra cheeseburger at lunch.
Right.
Because we're going to write this down because this isn't our money. This is everybody's money. So everybody gets a chance to check each other. It's a lot of checks and balances. So you can put your money, if it's not an insurance company, if you say, I definitely want to go to a bank, right?
Okay.
That's fine. But you got to know the bank that you're going in business with, because there's going to be more bank failures as interest rates go up.
Oh, all right. Now, okay. So I'm not saying that you lost me, but I'm just going to ask a question. So you said, are all banks the same?
No, not all banks the same.
So there's more than one type of bank. All right.
Yeah, there's more. There's different levels of banks. The banks that you saw fell in were those mid-tier banks that they just fought to take certain controls off of, right?
Right.
So when they took the controls off,
nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching. They fail. So you have somebody sitting up here, instead of investing the money correctly, they're doing something wrong. And because of how the system set up, like fractional reserve banking, I'm throwing a lot of big terms out.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna act like I understand.
Yeah, fractional reserve banking is basically you have to keep a portion of the money that you have on deposit. So when you go to a bank, you give them $100, they may have to keep like $10 of it.
What?
You can loan out the other 90. Right? So they might sit up here and say, okay, I got this $100. I'm going to loan out $70.
Okay.
I'm going to take $10 and I'm going to put that away for a rainy day. I'm going to put that in some bonds and stuff that pay me 5% long term. And then I'm going to keep the other, other $10 on hand just in case you come back to the bank and need some money, because you never need all of your money.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And then because I have these deposits, I can also call the Federal Reserve and get more money.
Okay.
So basically that
Right.
$100
Okay.
might equal to $800-900 that the bank has to work with. But I only have to have on file $10.
$10. That's right.
So
yeah,
so
because I'm never coming to get over 10.
I'm never coming to get all of my money.
Right.
Even if I do wipe out my account, right? But they've already loaned it out. They've already created debit upon debit. There's more money there, so they don't really care. You know, if you make a run, if you come get all your $100, fine. We've already loaned out $800 off of it, so we don't care.
Man,
we've made our money already.
Oh man, man. Okay.
So that's a bank, right? So let's take some of these banks are loaning money to their friends. Donald Trump is being sued by banks, right? He's having a little problem.
Yeah.
Because there was somebody who just signed off on a loan, no matter the fact that he was in bankruptcy,
right.
He was in foreclosure,
right?
He had a whole lot of stuff going on,
right?
You and I would get turned down, right?
Right.
If I walked into the bank and my credit, I owed a $10 collection. Oh, you can't buy this.
That's correct.
You can't borrow $50,000.
Right.
We might loan you $300.
Right.
Okay, we might, but you would loan me this $10 collection. Donald Trump and some people, and I'm not just going to pick on Donald. There are people out there.
But we're talking about that culture.
That culture, right?
Yeah.
They can go in and they can get money that you and I can't get, right? And they don't ask them for any information. If they pay it back, fine. Because you got to remember, I deposited $100. They loaned out $700, $800, $900, right? So they expect some of them loans to go bad, right?
Right.
But then they got somebody named John or Jane Doe that needs to go buy a car at 24.99%. And they kind of cover everybody. Right?
So we've been covering, we've been
covering everybody's debt. Okay.
Everybody.
So the funny thing is that there are people that stand up and say there's something going wrong, and we get knocked down. People get knocked down every day. So in my end, right? So we all in a revolution. We're all fighting, right?
Right.
I believe that without the finances, you can't be on the front line.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you got to eat.
That's right.
I got to make sure you got some nice shoes on your
That's
feet.
right.
You got to have a tent. You know, you need what you need on the front.
That's right.
You know, during our struggles during the 60s, and people like Sammy Davis Jr. financed the revolution. People didn't know when he was laughing and smiling.
Yeah.
He was bailing people out of jail, buying meals, doing all that stuff. Because without the finance, there is no revolution.
That's right.
And our enemy knows that, right?
That's correct.
So they take it away from us. And we hear phrases like the Dr. Umar, who tells us, oh, they'll give us a college loan and they'll give us a business. They won't give us a business loan. They'll give us a car loan. But the thing is that we don't really need them because Black America, we spend what, $1 trillion?
Close to $1.5 trillion.
Okay.
Every year.
Okay. If we went by true economics, if we spend $1 trillion and we took 10%, that tithe money, right?
Right.
You're supposed to tithe yourself, right?
Right.
And you
I got you.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So we take that $1 trillion, we take $1 trillion from it. That's what, 100 billion?
That's correct.
150 billion? Okay. Multiply that by 10%. How much is that? That's a lot of money, right? That's all
correct.
15 billion a year.
Right.
Right? 15 billion a year. How many problems can we solve with $15 billion a year?
They could definitely solve mine.
Yeah.
All right.
But they can solve a lot of problems. Right.
That's right.
But that's what Black America, we need to kind of do, collectively. But, I'm more focused on helping people doing it on a micro level. And hopefully we can start making it a macro level. We can get to the bigger part where we work it together. But it takes us education, each one teach one.
Right. And that's really where you start. You really can't expect for everybody to get on board. All right. At the same time. So we can start with conversations like this. We can also start by, we wanted to share your information. We have found your website. All right.
Yeah. I got a whole website, NathanMcAlister.com.
Yeah, we're going to put it up. Let's see if they can find it. All right, let's put this up. This is our brother Nate's site. All right. And, oh, man, they need to take that off of there. All right. This is your site right here.
Yes, sir.
And we have some of the products and services here. Let's click on that, see what we have. We've got life insurance,
long-term care, income annuities. There's some other products. My website is going to be updated in a few days.
All right.
Because I'm finishing up some of my security license work, so I can sit up here and offer all the security license, all the securities to the public.
All right, great. Okay, so I think that the phone number was there. You're at Levis Commons?
Yeah.
All right, you're at Levis Commons. Now, if somebody's watching this, and if you are watching this, you've got the website, you've got the email, but just for the sake, if someone wanted to call you later on and continue this conversation, what number was it?
419-290-4217. That's 419-290-4217.
All right. And before we log off of here in Haley, with all that you do, what do you do to rebalance? We talked about self-care earlier, what we do, because in being a part of the protest culture and activist community, a lot of the things that we do is trauma-based. This is wrong. We want this changed or else. So after a certain point of time, you might need to decompress. All right. All right. You might want to. All right. All right. Because we get it in.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do when you get home and you're like, man, I got 20 new customers today. Life's good. Man, I need to kick back. What do you do?
I watch a lot of YouTube.
Okay.
Believe it or not. We're avid travelers. So that's one of the best things that you can spend money in. It's a wealth that a lot of people just forget about. I mean, you don't know how much you learn by traveling, right? New ideas, new thoughts.
Now, when you say traveling, are we talking about Bowling Green?
I'm talking
about.
No, I'm talking about abroad. I mean,
travel. Oh, passport traveling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Passport's heavy.
Okay, and when you said we, what did you mean?
Well, I have a significant other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a partner in crime.
Okay, all right.
She loves to travel.
Okay, we wanted to put that out there, all right, for the partner in crime, all right, the significant other, okay.
Yep. But you know what the biggest thing is, it's really just learning how to human being. I like to listen. I like to read. The biggest thing that I've learned is I schedule time in my life already.
Oh yeah, okay? I like that.
So I take a Sabbath on Saturdays.
Okay.
So on Saturdays I'm not going to do buy, sell, and if I do something, it's going to be from the heart, right?
Right.
So you might call me and say, Nate, I need woo woo woo. I'd be like, okay, I can do it Saturday. I'll give you a couple hours on Saturday. So that'd be me actually coming out helping you. It might be just something simple as feeding kids, or teaching kids, or doing whatever. Just doing something to serve man and God. For me,
that's what's up.
Allows me to be able to decompress properly every day and keep everything in perspective, because money, as important as it may be in our life, it is not everything. And if we don't pour into our own vessels, we can't pour into others, right?
That's right.
So, and like you're pushing saying, okay, I got to get this done. But if you're dead or in a hospital, there's no way you're going to get done. So, don't get to a point where you feel like you have to go to a bar, get some liquor and stuff like that. I think that's one of the biggest things that we should stay away from in wanting to get wealth in our community, right? Abusing ourselves, because that is anti-wealth, right? And I want to say this before I leave, is that building wealth isn't a hard thing to do, right? It's us taking simple steps and just looking. For instance, you get a tax return every year, right?
Right.
So you've given the government a free 0% loan for a year, unless you got a bunch of kids and businesses and you're doing all these write-offs and some illegal stuff. But just a regular hardworking person gives the government a loan for 365 days. And then they give it back to you, with no interest. And then they give you a fuss about getting it to get your money.
That's right.
And then you go out and you blow it and waste it, right?
Yeah.
If you take that money that should have been part of your lifestyle anyway, right?
Right.
Put your money away. I would tell everybody who's watching this, if you're not saving 10% away of everything you're making, you will never have anything of substance. It takes a while to build wealth.
Okay.
None of us are going to be Nino Brown,
right?
It doesn't work like that. We have to be very diligent, and we have to be intentional in what we're doing, and thinking further Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and wonder why we wake up Monday morning broke and having to go to a job we hate. Yes. If anybody's going through that, we can stop that as a community. And I'm speaking to you and you out there. You can get help. I may not be the perfect person for you, but there's somebody out there that can help you. I suggest you go out and get any help that you can get, because we are counting on you. And there's people generally in our lives, children, that watch us. And I see it. I grew up with kids that grew up in poverty. They grew up in poverty.
Right.
And they made bad choices based on that poverty. So we can change us, and the time is now. It is never too late to build your wealth tree. And the one book I want to tell everybody to watch, read, or listen to the audiobook free on YouTube, The Richest Man in Babylon.
The Richest Man in Babylon. So we got some homework, all right?
Give you a little bit of homework.
So I'm going to check that out on YouTube. Listen, Nate, would you come back again to continue this conversation so that we don't have that stigma attached to talking about Black wealth, talking about money?
Look, we should be talking about money. If you, with your kids, you should talk about it. I'm open to talk to you. If you guys have small groups, want me to come speak, do workshops for people, talk to people, things like that, I'm here for you. And it's not just about you buying products from me. I don't do this for the money. Okay.
All right.
Even though I do get paid.
Okay.
Money isn't my number one option. I've done other things to make money. I can do other things to make money. I am more about the liberation of our people. And I know that our society gets better if everybody got a little bit of money.
Well, all right. All right. On that note, hey, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. This is the CSRN, a week in review. Hey, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Week in Review, where we come to you live from my branch library. And big shout out to Celeste Felix and all of the staff here that just make us feel so welcome when we roll all of our stuff in. And if you can, follow Jody Summers online, because he posts a lot of our pictures that lets you know what the studio looks like, or what the room looks like that we make into a studio. Hey, listen, we are back. We're going to talk about Pretti protection. We're going to talk about the safety segment. I know you introduced yourself earlier. However, it looks like we've got some new viewers. So if you could introduce yourself, what are you rocking today? And man, what is it about personal protection that people really need to know?
So, hi, I'm Haley, as you know, and for the people who don't know, I'm the owner operator of Pretti Protection, and we share about protection and teach about protection. We also provide protection self-defense items. Today, I have on a green and white dress, earrings, glasses, and a necklace.
All right. You're a regular here now. You're part of what we do. Whenever you read the mission statement, hey, okay, you're one of us now. Walking with confidence. Was that the term?
Yes.
Walking with confidence. Where did that come from, and why is it so important?
Walking with confidence, it literally just came out of nowhere. One day I was sitting there and I'm like, and it just made me realize that walking with confidence covers everything. And sometimes we forget that protection is associated with confidence.
Right.
And then originally as well, we were doing a ladies segment for Women's Appreciation Month.
Right.
And one thing that we always know as women, we always are told, hold your head up, as people in general, hold your head up, walk with confidence.
Right.
So what better title than to walk with confidence?
Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's where that came from.
All right. And Pretti protection, what's it all about? When did it get started? And what are some of the products that you have?
Okay. So Pretti protection we are about providing self-defense items to adults and kids. We have them for everyone, but our focus is adults and children. It started in 2019 was when it originally started. We became official 2020.
Okay.
And from there, we've just expanded from, it started with just saying, hey, I want some protection items. Actually, it started with just an idea of, oh, this looks nice, and I'm looking it up and I'm researching. And the more I was searching for protection, the more I couldn't find anything. So it's like, this is a need. Especially in our community, I found that the lack of knowledge of protection, a lot of times in our community, we think protection and automatically people think guns.
Right.
Automatically. Oh, you sell guns? No, there's other things to protect yourself besides guns. And that's kind of where that need and that feed started, that hunger started, where it's like, we literally have no knowledge of protection in our community. Our children don't know. Only thing we think is lethal.
Right.
And it goes deeper than that. It's simpler than that as well, where you can protect someone without having to fight a case, without having to go to jail, without having to kill one another. You can protect yourself and they can go home and you can go home and you can live to see another day.
So what is it? What do you think? What is it that keeps us from understanding that there's a big space between lethal and non-lethal? So we don't have to start there. What do you think it is that keeps us from realizing that?
The lack of presence in our community. If only thing you see is a gun, then all you will know is a gun.
Oh, that's true.
If only thing you hear is fighting, all you will know is fighting. So it's the lack of knowledge. Once we provide that knowledge and we show that there's other ways to protect yourself, there's other means to protect yourself, then we'll have those resources to be able to say, hey, I don't have to use a gun. I can use a stun gun. I don't have to go out and fight someone or shoot someone because they're trying to come in my house. Right. I can mace them, I can stop them. So it's just having those tools and knowing those ways, but without knowledge, you won't know.
Now, do you feel nervous? I mean, You carry some of the products. You
I
carry
don't
the
feel
products.
nervous.
All right.
I feel
I felt
confident.
that. All right.
I feel
felt-
confident.
Okay. All right. What do you on any given? Well, I don't. Well, you ask. You let me know if I can ask this question.
Okay.
On any given day, what products do you normally have on you, or should
On
should
any
somebody
given
wait?
day,
Should somebody wait to find out?
on any given day, we sell products that you can carry every day.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
go that way.
All right.
And I do stay protected.
Okay.
One
all
way
right.
or another. I am always protected.
Can we go to your page?
Yes. Let's go there. Thank you, tech team.
All right.
So on my page, we have a variety of things, as simple as we have stun guns, there are pepper sprays, there are defense keychains. We'll just stop right there. Just a simple defense keychain, the one in the middle, you'll see it has a stun gun on it as well as mace. Summer is coming.
That's true.
It's nice out today.
Right.
You're walking, for instance, my child, we kicked them out the house today. It's a nice day.
That's right.
You will not be sitting on your phone. Go play. So a simple walk with this helps me feel that she's protected.
Well, that's awesome.
So there is an alarm we have. If the alarm goes off, it alerts people around you. So these are just simple tools where, yes, you can say, well, I don't need an alarm. But if someone covers your mouth, then you can't scream.
That's true.
You can't scream. There's nothing you
That's
can
true.
do. But if there's this alarm where you can throw the pin, that alarm can't be silenced. That noise will bring people, will bring attention. But your mouth can be silenced.
That's true. That's true.
That's simple. Where a stun gun, like you see, the stun gun is right there on the keychain. That's just like I said, the pepper spray we have. It's great. It sprays 12 to 16 feet. It has a UV dye in it, so you can identify whoever the attacker is. And those are just simple things where you may not kill them or you may not stop them, but you are able to get away. And that is the goal. The goal is not to be a hero, but a goal is to survive and get away.
All right. You've got something on the end here. It looks like a comb.
A comb knife. So the comb knife, it looks like a comb. It operates like a comb.
Okay.
But there's a 5.5-inch blade in there. So you can carry it in your back pocket. Carry it in your purse. I suggest your back pocket. If you're leaving, you're walking, put it in your back pocket because no one's going to attack you and say, oh, she has a comb in her pocket.
Right.
They're not even going to think about it. The lipstick next to the keychain. The lipstick is a knife. Once you put that lid on, it looks just like a knife. You can hold that in your hand. It's small, it's compacted, or you can put it in your shirt pocket. It's very small. It's about 2 inches or 1.5 inches. There's a 1/2-inch blade in there.
Okay.
So these are just simple things every day. You ask what I carry every day. I carry lipstick and a comb.
Okay. All right. All right. Hey, take it however you want to take it.
Pretty and protected.
Take it however you want to take it. All right. Take your chances if you want. My next question, we had Nate McAlister here, and his big thing was generating Black wealth. And we talked to him about what does he do to recenter, and CSRN, we talk about self-care, and that's a intentional and essential part of what we do. It helps us come back to the podcast the following week because I'm sure Jody's been somewhere and he said some things that people don't like. All right. And I've probably done the same. All right. And what do you do to show up, come back every day, every week, and keep your balance?
I love to read. I'm a big reader.
Okay.
I love to read. I read anything and everything. Anything on a wall, anything on the back of a book, anything on the back of a water bottle, anything I can read, I love to read. So that's a big music. Music is everything. I love music. I love rock and roll. I love country. I love rap. I love R&B. I love Disney songs. I love all music. So music and reading, and I love just sitting alone in silence.
Okay.
Silence is my best friend. When I'm in the car, I don't turn on the radio. I sit in silence.
I try to do that at home. Like over dinner, because most people will watch TV, while during dinner. And I try to make an executive decision. So Yvette, you already know how this is going to go. I'm like, okay, can we just turn the TV off today? And they're like, what? Listen to you. like, that hurt my heart. So I'm gonna take that as a no, family. All right. I've been kicked out of better places.
I've been kicked out of better places.
Right. So
but with Nate, like Nate just said, that was a big thing. Protection. I wanted to touch on him speaking on insurance.
Okay.
Protection comes in all different forms. And I know I speak of self-defense, but insurance is another form of protection that we need, because if you are defending yourself and you get hurt, you need insurance to be able to go to the hospital.
If
you die, you need life insurance to be able to bury yourself.
That's right.
This couple, over the last couple weeks, I had an incident with my daughter and I almost lost her. And that was, it could have been worse than it was, but it made me realize that I sell protection, but I can't always protect my child, in dangerous situations. So it kind of made me realize that with protection, with walking in confidence, with being prepared, if you stay prepared, you don't have to be prepared. We also have to be knowledgeable on knowing, being ready about everything, knowing, having those things written out, your insurance information, your emergency contacts, your knowing where you are at all times. These are simple things that I preach for protection, but we need it to protect our kids.
Wow,
we
that's
need it
true.
to protect our family. When the situation happened, I was out of town, but I like to move when no one knows where I'm at, so,
right.
But thank to the Most High that I had these things in place where
That's awesome.
you knew who to call to get in contact with me. We knew, where was a comfort place for her. If, hey, we can't get in contact with mom, let's call this person, or let's go to this hospital. So these are also things for protection that we have to be knowledgeable about, that if something was to happen to you, do you have a ICE in case of emergency contact in your phone? Everybody should have something in their phone that says in case of an emergency. So if you're out walking your dog and something happens and no one's around, they can look in your phone and say, hey, she has an emergency contact. Hey,
I'm thinking right now, I don't think, if somebody can break through my phone because I've got it locked, Jody, you need to do this too. All right, so I'm not the only one.
And even if it's locked, that doesn't stop, because if something happens and you have a fingerprint lock, you're still there. They can still use your finger.
Oh, yeah, okay. All
They can still get in, but it's about knowing who to call.
Okay.
And even when you have, because a lot of, if you're like
I need
me,
to do that.
Everybody has nicknames in my phone. You'll never know who my mom is. You may never know who my cousin, the important people, because your brother may be under Buki. We don't know Buki is your brother, but if it says Buki Ice, then I know, hey, Buki is someone important to them. Let's call him.
Wow. Okay.
So just simple things, which kind of piggyback off what Nate was speaking about, just protection. That's insurance, being protected, having these things in place. So when we need them, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
All right.
It's important all the way around.
Before we take a break and come back with Jody for our shout outs and solutions, and I'm sure he's going to introduce himself and say, I got some more bracelets and trinkets and stuff like that. I wanted to ask you this. Did I lose my thought? No, I didn't. We talked about self-care.
Mm-hmm.
You had, I think if it wasn't last month, there was some events that you were a part of.
Yeah.
And we never got a chance to come back and talk about what happened. How did they receive the information? I think there was a self-defense event. So if you can recap for us, how did those go, and how did the people receive the information?
So there was a self-defense event that went great, actually. And there's another one coming up. She does them once a month.
Okay.
And they're free. And I'll send those flyers so they can be posted.
Right.
And they're free. It's an 1.5-hour workshop.
That's what's up.
Why wouldn't you go? It's a free class. The information is always received well.
That's
always.
Awesome.
People are always eager to learn how to protect themselves. And people are always eager to a lot of times people say the same thing you said. I never thought of that. Yeah. I never thought of that. So it's always good. It's always new knowledge, and people are always receptive of it. And it makes me happy. All right.
Well, all right. And I guess that's all that counts. All right. Hey, listen, family, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Jody Summers for our community shout outs and solutions. So stay tuned. This is the CSRN weekly podcast or week in review. We'll be right back.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. This program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3. BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, I would say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So this showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
And shout out to Brothers United, man. Be you.
We're voting on House Resolution 63. All those in favor, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote?
Now, on whether or not to expel Justin Pearson
Mr.
will
Clerk,
be announced.
Take the vote.
Aye, 69, 26 nays.
Having received the concurrence of 2/3 of the members to which the House is entitled in the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, House Resolution 63 is hereby adopted. Without objection, the motion reeks is tabled. Pursuant to Article 2, Section 12 of the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, I hereby declare Representative Justin J. Pearson of the 86th
Justin Pearson, as you're just seeing right there, has been expelled with 69 votes in favor to expel him. We needed 66 votes to announce a formal expulsion. He has now been expelled, joining Justin Jones, who had also been expelled. Gloria Johnson survived her seat with 65 votes, just one vote saving her seat. Folks, I have to tell you the optics there, as Gloria Johnson referenced herself, perhaps the only white out of the 3 Congress members there and representatives that had been saved her seat. So there you see it. The Tennessee House voting to expel 2 of the 3 Democratic lawmakers for their objection to gun legislation.
All right, that's so shout out to our brothers Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. I think one of them was reinstated, but it's just hilarious that America was built on protests, and it's like it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
forgot all the tea.
Yeah,
literally all the tea.
It's all good though. It's all good. You know, at one point, all of us got to take a stand at one time or another. So shout out to Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, for making that stand. The other representative was in the protest also, but they didn't expel her. All right, they gave just enough votes to not expel
She
her.
had some less melanin in her skin.
Yeah,
didn't
well, it's all good. You know, all of us going to pay a price. You know, and I'm here for it all.
Yeah.
You know, I know what I'm getting into. We knew what we were getting into for all of our protests, for all of our activities, for all of our shutdowns. All right, and you know, I don't want to say bring it, but bring it.
Yeah, they can keep that list on me. It's just gonna keep growing.
Right. And locally, I'm gonna give a shout out to Sean Nestor's This Week in Toledo. And one of the posts that he had made was that on Wednesday, this was last Wednesday, approximately 350 students walked out of classes at Whitmer as part of the national movement to protest school shootings. And we want to just let everyone know that you can be active. It is okay to be active. And speaking of active, we also saw our sister Zaya Cook drafted by the LA Sparks. So that's awesome that we've got some awesome homegrown talent.
Yeah, see,
right
Facebook
here.
It is awesome because I don't even watch TV, but yet I was tuned into this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta be. And let's not forget that we had her dad Stratman on our podcast last year. So we're gonna ask him to come back. Hey, tell us, you know, what's it like? Yeah, what's it like? You know, being a dad of a star. All right, you know. So big shout out to Zaya Cook and the whole family. Another shout out to Nate McAlister that came in earlier and talked about life insurance and building Black wealth. I think, Jody, that was all that I had. And I want to give our Nguzu Saba or our Kwanzaa word of today. And that's Nia. That means purpose. And that's defined as to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. And man, Jody, I think that I covered everything that I could possibly. And now it's time for our shout outs and concerns. So for you, Jody, if you could introduce yourself, what are you wearing? And what's been happening? Glad you made it back.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. It's baseball season. For anybody that watches or follows the show or follows me, that means that some days I may not be here at all because shortage, schedule, stuff like that. I like going to work. I don't have to work. I like my job because it's where I signed the contract on my first book. So I see it as a duty to stay there for as long as I can, although I'm getting less and less time to do stuff because I do more other stuff. But yeah, so sometimes you might not just see me at all, or you'll see me at the end like we did last year when everything's happening. For those of you out there listening that just should be listening and not driving or anything like that, I'm a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and totems from this amazing journey I've been on that has allowed me to actually meet people, not just press and buy things. And I carry them around my neck, in my pockets, on my waist, because I'm a independent, unpaid, unbought, uncontracted performer. So when I'm on stage, I never feel alone. I never feel that I'm trying to grab somebody's attention or do something for clout or stuff like that, because these are my family. These are the people that remind me, you know, even if I'm upset about something, I have them hanging around me and they're precious. You know, can't be getting into fights and argue with people or being all stupid because they might come off.
Okay. I'm going to remember that. All right. I can talk stuff. All right. No. All right.
Yeah. Well, I carry a big stick.
Oh,
you know?
okay. All right. I didn't see that. All right. So where have you been? What have you been doing? And are there any events that we should know about?
Well, I'm gonna run through the past stuff. So coming back from the event, we had Sonia Ramel, who is now a farmer, not just a garden, but you know, gardens start out somewhere, just like you might have a plant at home, and then one day you can have a whole farm.
That's
so I was at her minority health event this year. We had it at the Glass City Riverwalk, or Metro Park that's there and everything. She brought a lot of people in. I believe I tagged you in something about the big food.
It was a No, it was a funding opportunity.
Yes, funding opportunity for farmers and stuff like that. And I know I tagged them.
I need to check that out
on my social media and stuff. But anybody that's starting something, I want you, you know, I just stopped years ago tagging everybody that's not there or involved because it's kind of buggy. I mean, if you don't want to know what I'm doing, I'm not going to force you to do it. So I stopped. I've reached to a point to where I could do that. But shout out to Sonia. Shout out to her family. Shout out to all of the community people that came out without sponsorships and stuff like that, because we already know that's kind of run dry. They only had the TV downstairs. Downtown no more. But from there, I was also at Keisha Renee, or K Renee, for her Poetry, Soul, and Colors at the Truth Art Gallery downtown with the curator, Nicola Arts. And it was another sellout show, her third one. I'm privileged and happy to be a part of that stuff. So open mics and everything like that. From there, and you'll see some of the highlights. I don't share full things. You'll get a Walk With Me album soon, as soon as I find time in my schedule. But, you know, follow the page. I try and promote community stuff on our page. So if you see something, you're like, why am I not on there? Contact me.
That's right.
You want to come on the show? Could I tell people? I'm telling people more now because it's like, we do run a radio show. I don't think of it because it's just my routine. It's something that I do that, again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm the big dog. It's just, we have a show.
But he is the big dog.
I'm just a simple man trying to make the world a better place, one smile at a time, really.
All right.
Sunday, we had Uncloistered, which was awesome. That's Joni McKintry, our poet laureate of Ohio, Lucas County.
Okay.
Maybe Ohio one day. But yeah, and that was awesome because I don't believe that if you stay in your same circle, you're going to grow. So I function with the R&B crowd, the hip hop crowd, the rock crowd. I go out to the woods and kick it with hippies and perform. All of that is life. All of that, if you start putting boundaries and borders on people, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of life. Easter Sunday, I was with you. I actually practice for the second time. I try and do it as much as I can, but Ramadan, so no food, no drink until sundown. Even though I'm a Buddhist, it's different. As I'm getting older and that threshold of getting called sugar daddy or grandpa or all them little names and stuff. I ain't got no gray hairs,
Okay. All
but
right.
I'm trying to remember that there are so many people watching me to see what they might need to do, the missteps, the foots. I'm the old dude when I was a kid, like, hey, you're awesome. How can I get like you?
That's right.
I'm not mentor level yet because there's some stuff that everybody don't agree with, but I can't force you to.
Okay.
I can't tell you you're wrong as long as you're not being malicious, harmful to you, yourself, or anybody else. Be happy. If you want to go live in the woods and don't pay taxes, do that. I did that for a decade. But yeah, so that was some of the things that did happen. Upcoming. Okay. Upcoming are, well, we already know what 420 is. If you don't know, check your timeline, see what's going on. If you like that stuff, there's a whole bunch of things going around the city for that. There is the Micromatics exhibition for Contron at East River Gallery. They did the closing ceremony last week for Justin Littlebridge. I know it's Littlebridge. I might have said the name wrong. Sorry. But he's having his own because they did like 4 or 5 for other artists, which I think is good. If you have something and you built it, I always try and share. When I do my events, vending and stuff, I don't charge you for tables. If you want to donate, you can, but it's kind of getting out of control. An evening at the Square Room this Sunday at 6, Collingwood Arts Center. That's D Brown. We also do Cat Fest in May. You know about that. That's how my career actually started. Ode to the Zip Code 419 Day is coming up as well. And the 17th annual fundraiser for the Chili Mac and Spaghetti Dinner with Jobs for Justice. Shout out to y'all. Y'all been one of our helpful sponsors. Film Toledo's holding a workshop. I'm an actor, so I go to that stuff. That's Thursday 20th at Lucas County Library. So, if you're not herbalist and stuff like that, you can go get your acting career on, get some of those credits and stuff like that, because it is nice to leave something behind and say, I did this. It's so weird. But anyway, so that's all the stuff that I think that's coming up. Again, I try and share as much. We do have Taco Wars coming again in September. So shout out to Sean and Glazer Gourmet for deciding to stick at home.
That's right.
So many people get rich or get famous or whatever, and they're like, you know what, screw my community. That's why community fails. That's why you have these sponsors that come in and give you grant money, and then when they run out because they oversought themselves, then you go back to the same poverty that we've been fighting for generations. So if you get something, like when I get to that level, I may not stay here because I do plan on doing a lot of traveling, but I'm going to buy a house here, so I have to pay taxes here. I'm going to do something that keeps me here to keep the dollars circulating, because Amazon ain't going to take care of your people. Whatever little click and buy services ain't going to take care of your people. You kind of have to yourself.
All right. Hey, look, before we get to our 5 minutes of heat, just want to remind everyone, if you like what we do, subscribe to our YouTube, like our page, share it. Leave us a comment to let us know that, hey, you're there. This is our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Community Solidarity. By the time you get there, you'll see our page. You'll see all our videos, all of our podcasts. Subscribe to the page. We're trying to get to 100. I think we may already be there. We might not too. But subscribe to the page for us. And if you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App or PayPal. That's #CSRN 419. PayPal is CSRN 419. Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter. We're on everything. So, hey, join the movement. Hey, was that it? All right.
That was beautiful.
That was record time.
It's that season. So again, if you want to come on the show, you don't actually have to physically be in the studio. We can send you the link. It is a private link because we're not getting spam bombed and all that stuff like that. But we want to hear our community. We want to hear your voice. If you got something that's positive, is growing, let us know. Come on the show, have a seat, or sit where you are comfortable and stream in.
All right. And lastly, That was a big shout out to the two Justins. We didn't put
Yes.
the pictures up there. And also today is day 20 of the Ramadan. For all of those who are participating in Ramadan, we say Ramadan Mubarak. That means blessed Ramadan. And keep up the good fight. No water, no food from sun up to sundown. Hey, you could do it. If we could discipline ourselves with the things that are lawful, then when the challenges come up in your life, hey, you're ready for it. You know what I think Haley said, you don't have to, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Yeah,
All
always
right?
keep a bug out bag with me. And
All
that
right.
is also so
All right.
good to know is self-defense and protection, hunting, gathering, stuff like that. Because there are things in this world, if you only live by technology and it goes out, what will you do?
All right.
So do you know how to protect yourself? Do you know how to fend for yourself? If you were trapped out in the woods and in grocery stores, like the food deserts, we actually had a thing. Shout out to Reverend Perryman for acknowledging that. I saw that on NBC about the dollars pretty much taking over America, making sure that no grocery stores can come in. I was trying to figure out something as my last term, how to communicate that better. And that was an excellent way of them letting us know what dollar stores are doing to communities across the entire country.
Okay.
So this is brand new from Friday. Saturday.
A brand new poem?
Brand new poem.
All right.
Also, I want to say my trauma is able to drink now. 21 years ago, I lost the person who gave me life. And as I continue to do more, I'm okay with it. The last book is the thing that she loved the most, Butterfly. She's named in it, a whole bunch of community members. So no matter, I've made them history. So even when I'm gone, they'll live forever. It's not just me reciprocating. And like Haley was saying, she loves to read. I write books.
All right. Okay. We didn't quote Haley twice today. All right. All right. All right.
Yeah, and I guess a better way, my last stuff since my book, I think I've have 15 to 18 new pieces that I guess are published, because I was trying to submit to something and they was like, oh, if you put it on Facebook, it's published. But I'm like,
I don't know about that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I put everything on Facebook because I want to know if somebody comes up and talks about, oh, this line that was so amazing. No, I wrote that first. Check the video, check like 500 posts, because it's yours in a way. So,
all right.
A deeper look inside of me. Why it's hard to date me. Let's begin. Peace. I am easily turned off by something everyone can have. I'm a devout spiritualist, practicing Buddhism as a way to connect to my fellow human. I have no in-between either. I'm either all the way in, or the way out. I overachieve things that most people find mundane by continually doing them over and over again. I live my own dreams, taking years to manifest the things I wanted to see in this world. And then one day I started living the things I used to write and draw about. I only care about money as a tool. Having too much of it at one point in time makes me want to go out and benefit those with less before I take care of myself. I'm an Aries, which comes with a lot of good things, being headstrong and such. But being headstrong and such, I love to debate my truth. I don't appreciate material things. I appreciate the time or journey it took to receive them, but I fully understand none of this is coming with me. I feel warm, like therapy or a hug to those that don't know me, which puts me in situations that I often don't realize people's intentions until sometime later. I'm kind of boring. I do a lot of stuff people wish they could do, but for me, it's a daily routine, a way to escape my own boredom and be around people I don't know yet. I'm a writer. If you involve yourself with me in any type of way, there will be something written about you. I'm an artist. If you involve yourself with me in any type of way, there will be something created because of you. I'm a community organizer, a very public person who doesn't have much privacy. And if you involve yourself with me, I will try and put you in the public eye. I'm a hopeless romantic who still believes that there's one person out there for me, and no matter how much trauma they've been through, bad relationships or manipulative exes, I'm there for the healing process, no matter how much time it takes. I don't like being touched, but I've become accustomed to it in the profession that I chose to live, with the only exception being if I want you, I'm completely opposite in this sense. I will always want to be next to you or touch you or have visuals of each other lingering throughout the day, reminding people we don't want you. I love to travel without planning, but I'm also obsessive compulsive about taking time when we should be rushing to get things done. I have abandonment issues, so I'm always going to try to find ways to reassure you you're the most important person in my life. And even if I never show it, I'll need some type of reciprocation in your love language to let me know I'm not alone again. Chasing after the dream of a relationship with someone I want to be my last memory when I close my eyes for good. I'm in competition with no one, and I don't have an ideal life or someone else's shoes I would rather be in. My goals are simply to wake up the next day and make an impact in everything I do. In peace.
All right. And as always, we snap our fingers. All right, Jody. Okay. Why it's hard to date you.
Yep.
All right. Okay. All
Took
right.
a while for me to get into like some understandable language, but yeah.
Okay. All right. I get it. I get it. I get it. All right. All right. Hey, family. Hey, thank you for joining us today. And as always, all lives can matter until what?
Black
Lives
lives
matter. And Black Lives Matter. And Black Lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else?
Yeah.
Peace.